Alright, so someone sent me the piece of the webhot and the exact report that I couldn't find on my own about these diamonds. Russian diamonds. This is from the end of 2012 Webbot report, just to give you an idea. We're in 2015. And to give you an idea as to, again, dates and times that you think things should have happened a little bit sooner, and here we are 3 years later, and then we finally hear about it. Now, also deep within the markets entity is an area relating to the financial war that is ongoing above most people's heads. Within this war, the banksters have just been dealt a very severe blow with the announcement of the Russian space diamonds. This story is within the immediacy datasets, and it is hugely cross-linked over to the powers that be entity. Apparently, this diamond announcement has crippled a scam/fraud that was ongoing in a similar fashion to the Madoff Ponzi scheme. In this case, the celebrities and glitterati are described as having been put into end of the world diamonds. They are going to become very unhappy about this situation near the end of October. Again, this is 2012. As yet another giant diamond find is announced, causing what is left of the black channel diamond market to collapse. At this point, the data sets are suggesting that glitterati/celebrities start coming out about deceit. There are several data sets that indicate that this diamond scandal will destroy the prominent temple in Hollywood. It is also going to cause a schism within Scientology that will somehow reach into the temples in Chicago. The data suggests that revenge killings will occur as a result of this glitterati diamond scandal. The data suggests that diamonds will become blooded with both here in the U.S. and in a spectacular manner in a vault in a London house in a way that will disrupt forever some ancient blood trading bonds. That's the key word. Don't know what that means. The data suggests that many of the rich and famous will be discovering that it is possible to be poor and famous. In some of the detail sets, there are descriptions of TV shows in which actors or celebrities will throw away worthless diamonds into the audience. Associated with the whore press and their activities, the data sets are pointing to a situation of murder that will be occurring in Africa, in which some corporate and charity toadies or minions will be kidnapped and later killed in revenge. These data sets are bringing together the GMO Foods data sets as well as the BM Gates Foundation and Big Pharma in a soon-to-emerge corporate charity scandal of secrets revealed in Africa that the mainstream media will be desperately trying to squash. The powers that be will be sending minions in some numbers once the kidnappings take place. This will be due to the WHO personalities are involved. The area is indicated to bring a great deal of internal change to the people and organization that supports/pays for the charity. At the core of the situation is a murder from the local population, from the local population's point of view, of a whole generation of their region. To me that sounds like GMO, something that they uncovered. Realizing if we've been eating this is a whole generation of people who are going to be poisoned or killed or whatever. This murder is described as motivating what will be the most daring/shocking act of kidnapping seen in modern times. The data sets suggest that nations' officialdom at many levels will be involved. This further heightens the drama around this kidnapping. The data directly ties to the victims of the kidnapping to the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, as well as pointing out that the CFR is the cause of the originating crime. While showing as visible, this situation is also within the midst of larger society-altering events, so its level of visibility may be less than usually expected. However, it should hit the mainstream media, if only sporadically, as the powers that be will be censoring the news of or about the kidnapping because of who will be involved. So, that was the Webart report that I was trying to find that I just could not find. And that's from 2012. 2012. So here we are, 2015, and Russia announces this massive diamond find. As you'll recall from yesterday, me talking about it. And that these diamonds are large diamonds, not little tiny ones. And they are basically found in this old lava rocks, and they are, I guess, like as I said yesterday, per rock there's a ton of them. The concentration of diamonds per rock that they found is unbelievable. An insane amount. And they're not little small ones, they're big diamonds. So you've got basically anything a diamond miner or a person that collects those would want. So, as I said yesterday, Webbot will sometimes tell you time frames to look for or whatever. Those dates come and go, and then sometime later you finally realize, oh wow, this is it. This is it. That diamond find is unbelievable. It even said Russia, 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 Russia. So those two reports that I did find the word diamond in, as I read to you yesterday, those were two different Webbot reports. And I know I only showed one little page of each, but that's exactly what it was. That's where I found the information on those other Webbot reports. So this is a third, and you could say the original Webbot report that had more detail about the diamonds. But then the other two also had information about these diamonds, and they both talked about Russia and these diamonds. And you mean to tell me, yesterday I find the story that just happened, it's fresh news, about this huge diamond find in Russia that's unbelievable. Some people just don't have faith in the old Webbot at times. You can't tell me, no matter what you believe, that this was just a pure chance, coincidence, that this thing talked about this 3 years ago, has even mentioned it in 3 separate reports, and the one I just read you was the main one. And it just so happens to be pretty much spot on, unbelievably. I mean, again, except for the time frame. And as I've always said, when I read these reports, you know, I always give my little disclaimer, which is, hey, I know it says this time or this date or this month, but just keep in mind, you know, dates aren't always accurate in the Webbot. It's the event you want to pay attention to. It's the information you want to pay attention to, and just understand that sometime in the not so distant future, you can expect these things to, you know, not even all of them, but seems like most of them, to ultimately happen. So I had to clarify that, if you will, just to let you know that was the report that I was looking for. And somebody sent it to me and said, hey, here's that page, you know, that page 9 is what you're looking for, here it is. So that's it. Just want to share it with you. Gives the Webbot a little more credence. And it's funny, as I read through, you know, like yesterday when I was trying to find this, and I'm just like poking, you know, I find the word diamond or whatever, and I look around it, and just slightly before it, I'm reading some of the stuff. And it really is amazing on what it's talking about, not just the diamond thing, but everything else. And you look at where we are today with the markets and the death of the dollar starting, you know, oh, what are you talking about? Dollar's up to 90 in the index, you know. Yeah, we know. We're well aware of that. And there's also times in history where you can see the dollar spike, and then I'll urge you to see what happens after the dollar spikes, usually, like every time. Not so good economic problems seem to happen. So it's all in there. I mean, you just read these things and you can just see it, even years ago, many years ago, as a matter of fact. Everything that's been happening now, derivatives, like Lindsey Williams talked about, it's going to be the derivatives that take the system down. That word's been used in the WebBot numerous times. Derivatives and these financial products and these Ponzi schemes, cooking the books. I mean, all this stuff been in there for years. The death of the dollar meme has been in the WebBot for so long, I can't even tell you. It's been in there since before I even started reading those things. Many years ago. And again, this is a time frame where people would easily argue against you, saying there ain't no death of the dollar. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ain't gonna be a death of the dollar. Strong USA, blah blah blah. Those were the times when this WebBot's saying, well, the future here, it's not gonna look too pretty. So you can see we're already in that future now. You can see the markets are all in turmoil, and the party hasn't even gotten started. We're still waiting on the September-October time frame. We're in July. Of course, we're getting real close to August now, which leaves a month plus, you know, however many days, depending on which specific day in September and or October it actually happens. It obviously talking about the economic crash that, again, doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight and all hell breaks loose. It just means the party will be getting started. So the next question I would have is, okay, well, once the party gets started, how long is it actually going to last? And what all happens during the time that it lasts, you know, exactly? And again, nobody's going to be able to answer that. Nobody can really truly say exactly how it's going to go, exactly what's going to happen, how long it's going to last, because there's too many unknowns. The one thing that is known is that the club is going to start it. Right? It's kind of like saying they're going to torch this house. I mean, with heavy duty, you know, combustible liquids. I mean, they're going to torch this house. So naturally, anyone could say, well, that house is going to burn down pretty badly. The unknown is, well, how badly? Is anything in the house going to be left salvageable at all? Even small things, you know, in your bathroom maybe, anything, right? That stuff's debatable. However, talking about knowing that they're going to torch a house, in this little example, the key thing is a house is about to be burned down, right? So that's the big event, that's the known, that's what we all understand. And some people get too caught up in figuring out which part of the house is going to go up first. How long is it do you think it's going to take for the house to actually burn down? Will there be anything left? You know, I don't care about that stuff. I don't care. I mean, sure, it'd be nice to know, but you're not going to. No one is. So once again, what do you do when you know some big event's happening, regardless of how it ultimately unfolds or how long it lasts or whatever? What does a person do? Protect themselves in any way they feel that they can, based off of the information they have about the event or events. So yeah, I'll say it for 1,000th time. Precious metals is a great investment to take you through a financial dark day. Food storage, not a bad idea. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to say it's not a bad idea. It should be something on your list to do. You just never know. And that's a security blanket. It's not, you know, all of a sudden some kind of prepper out in the woods, living, you know, I got my bug out bag and I'm going to, where are you going to go for a day or two? You take your bug out bag and go somewhere. Now what? You got a family, wife, kids, all right, take their bug out bags with you. Matter of fact, you got a few extra bug out bags, you can last, I don't know, 3 weeks. In the woods somewhere. Bugs eating you alive, and then what? Now what? Do you have a way to store all your silver or other items that you got in preparation of these problems? You gonna just leave those at home, or right? So I'm not, which may surprise you, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of the bug out bag. It is just, in my opinion, is just an you have unrealistic expectations of what that bug out bag is really going to do for you. Essentially, aside from the fact that it's a little bit of food, some survival, tiny things you can literally fit in a bag, a backpack, a bug out bag, and go somewhere. There is nowhere you're going to go that someone couldn't just find you pretty quickly with a bug out bag, because if you went out in the middle of nowhere, I mean way out in the middle of nowhere, you're basically going to take however much time it takes you to get there, eating your bug out bag supplies, and then saying, okay, we're here, we went halfway through our supply, we got to turn around and go back now or we're going to die. Some of you may say, well, no, we plan on staying, we'll hunt and we'll have some tents, and again, it's just not realistic to me. Not a fan of the bug out bag. My preparations have always been, I'm not even a prepper. I have my precious metals. I've got food supply that lasts a little while, a few months at least. Well, more than a few months, but that's it. I've got my solar panels and stuff. I've had those for years. Got those many, many years ago. They're not hooked up currently because I took them down to move to Tennessee. Left Tennessee, back to Florida. Decided not going to put them back on the house. I'm just going to keep them in my garage. Should an EMF or solar flare, anything powerful enough to come out, last thing I'd want is during good times, electricity's on, everything's good, is to say, oh, well, my solar panel, my inverter or charge controller just got fried by an EMF pulse or something. Now the electric grid is down for God knows how long, and now I need my solar panels to work. Well, the panels are fine on the roof, but everything else is not. That wouldn't be too good. So I felt like I'll just leave everything disconnected. The panels are in my garage, the electronics are in my house, boxed away. And yes, I know some of you are going to say, yeah, but it can go through there if you don't have it in a Faraday cage. Yeah, that's possible. But boxed up inside my house, I'm not building a Faraday cage for that stuff. I've got an additional inverter, actually additional charge controller and inverter. So I'll take my chances. Again, nobody can be absolutely perfect. You never know how it's going to happen, exactly how bad, exactly anything. You just don't know. So that's all I got to say about that. Take care.